OVC. Got a couple hundreds, more like it. Got a couple records to show. Might break these videos up into pop and then jazz and classical because I got so much since the last time I was on. This is something that I'm hoping to do in the future. Directions on applying what's called denso damp to the gyro deck turntable. It's basically a bunch of like stiff goo you got to put under the chassis in all these spots to, I guess, dampen the ringing from the chassis. I guess they do it on the Orb, which is the upgrade. And you could buy the stuff to put on the gyro deck. Haven't done it yet, though. I bought this a little while ago. Thought about doing it today, but I might chicken out. We'll see. Hopefully in the future I will, and I'll let you know what comes of it. And if I like it better or not. That's a good question, though. Sometimes you do those things and you never know. But it seems like it's easy enough to take off if I have to. First, classical. This is a Glenn Gould recording issued by Speaker's Corner, which I found in New York at Academy Music. And I don't know if I have any Speaker's Corner releases until this one, quite frankly. And this is terrific. Really wonderful sound. You could just sit back and swim in this piano sound. Little Scriabin and Prokofiev from Glenn Gould. Picked up a couple Glenn Gould recordings. Well-tempered clavier, of course. This is book 1. And can't go wrong there with a little more Glenn Gould. And I do like these Columbia Stereo 360 records. I just do. I like the sound of them. An interesting one I found out. Some Don Giovanni highlights. And I think you're supposed to look at this with like 3D glasses or something. I don't know. But it's on London, which is always great. And I guess London is Decca. But it's stereophonic. But, you know, this is... I'm not a big opera person, but I'm dipping my toe. Speaking of which, there's a little Carl Orff. An opera, but I guess it's vocal music. Pretty crazy stuff. Sung texts on insert card. Well, that's handy. That's on Phillips. A little bit more Orff. And a little bit more vocal music. I think I got this in London. I can't remember if it's been hanging around that long. I'm not sure. Maybe some of this stuff I showed before. I'm not even positive. A little more Glenn Gould with Leonard Bernstein on Columbia. Beethoven there. Little Deutsche Grammophon that I found with a little library card here attached to it. From a local library, but it is a I don't know how German this is. I don't think it's fully German. I think this is the I don't know. You know, you look at some of the... Oh, this is printed in Germany. Yeah, one of the reasons I picked it up. Little Bartok. I love the Bartok piano concertos, and or concertos for piano and orchestra, I should say. 2 and 3 are terrific, and this is a wonderful recording of a couple of those, which I highly recommend. I found a living stereo. This Brahms with Reiner, also very nice. It's a little beat up, but not too bad. I was able to clean it up pretty nicely. So that's doing okay. Little, how would you pronounce this? Borodin? I'm not sure. I think it's Borodin, I would say Borodin, but never heard it pronounced, so I'm not sure. Beautiful string quartets. An Angel, mastered at Abbey Road. Oh, gotta talk about that too. A little Messiaen. I had a couple Messiaen here. I think I put another one away, which is crazy music, but great to test out the sound system. There's a lot of cool percussive effects. If you want to get some nice three-dimensional percussive transients in your system to see what it can do, pick up some Olivier Messiaen. Here's another Phase 4 London. Lovely. This is, you know, the usual Carmen stuff from Bizet. So just enjoyable, really, more than anything else. But beautiful sound, of course. This is like a recital from Pablo Casals of Beethoven sonatas, cello sonatas, and with piano. And I mean, it's literally like, I think there's some applause on here, and it sounds like there's 15 people in the audience. Really crazy, but really nice. Sibelius, Pelleas and Melisande. Looks like is it a Russian? Yes. Newly recorded in the USSR. So, I don't really have anything particular to say about this. That's the classical stuff that I picked up. There's a couple more, but you don't get to see that. Okay, it looks like we ran out of a little memory there right at the end, but I think I was at the end. So let's get to jazz. Donald Byrd's Ethiopian Nights. Really cool, funky, early funky music. 1971. Just came out on the, this is the Blue Note 80th anniversary release. So you know these are all analog. I got a bunch of these here. Either the Tone Poets or the 80th, so you'll see a bunch of these. So this one was highly recommended. I think it was recommended by Ken McAuliffe, the jazz vinyl, what is he, audiophile now? Or audio lover? I don't know what he is now, but he always has good recommendations, and that was one. And I picked that up. Hubtones, Freddie Hubbard. Solid Freddie Hubbard. This, I think, I don't know what part of the series this is. I'm guessing this is part of the 80th. But well worth getting. This one I like very much. It's Chant, Donald Byrd's Chant. Again, these are the ones where they're copying the, these must be the Tone Poet, right? Where they're copying the Music Matters. Just beautiful packaging and everything, and wonderful sound. And this is a really good record. This is a nice Stanley Turrentine record. He's not that far out there, so it's very accessible. So sometimes you want a little more meat on the bones, you might look elsewhere. But you just want to sit back, relax, and just enjoy some good music. That's another nice one from Stanley. This is the, what do you call it? This is the Great Trio? The Great Jazz Trio at the Village Vanguard. Hank Jones, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. Which is great, and this is an amazing record. Sounds incredible. Music is fantastic. Tony Williams is just one of the greats. So, you know, this is probably, this is mid-77. This is recorded. But it's fairly, I don't know if traditional is the right word. But it's not really fusion-y either. It's just great. Just get it. So this Miles album, which I believe is a bunch of early Miles from Prestige. This is a compilation. I just don't know which records these replace, and I haven't read the liner notes. They might have even been like 10 inches from the early days. I'm not sure, but Nine Tunisia's on here. maybe someone else would know. Can't be too early because Coltrane's on the second record, so that must be a later one. Oh, here we go. Side 1 and 2 are the Musings of Miles. Side 3 and 4 is Miles, both on Prestige. Okay, so I didn't have either of those records, so this was sort of a essential pickup. That great early Miles music. Grant's First Stand. I love Grant Green. Frankly, this is not one of his best. It's very good, though. It's good. I shouldn't say it's good. I'm not a huge organ person either. Babyface Roulette is on the organ here, and yeah, okay, that's fine. But this is not the first place I'd run to for Grant Green. This I'm not incredibly crazy about. This is Jim Hall's Concerto. It's veering on the side of cheesy to me. I mean, it's a great band. Steve Gadd's on here, Chet Baker, Paul Desmond. Some of the stuff's okay. Maybe I gotta listen to it more, but my first impressions of this is like I could have used a little more edge to this one. This is a fun record, Bully by the Quartet Très Bien. You know it's French when it's the Quartet Très Bien. There's no French people in this band. But this is a very... it's like a party jazz record. You have a party, you want to spend some you want to make it like you're having a party from what do you call it? Breakfast at Tiffany's, in Audrey Hepburn's apartment. You know how to play this. Cool Weather Report album. Again, I'm not a big fusion person, but this one is really good fusion. This is not sure of. Yeah, Jacko's on this one with Wayne and Joe Zawinul. Very cool Mahavishnu. I should say, Mahavishnu John McLaughlin. It's like the first iteration of Mahavishnu. I want to say this is probably late 60s, judging by the Indian, the sitar and Indian references all over this cover. I want to say it's like 69, but I'm not positive. I'm looking for a date here. Anyway, this is really cool. Again, it's experimental, and it's John McLaughlin doing different things on different tracks, whereas maybe the Mahavishnu Orchestra records were pretty much here's us, here we go. This is him trying out different things on different cuts, which I really like. He's got a nice Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, blue and green. So he does some traditional stuff, but he also does some out there. Like the first side, I think is all one track. Anyway, that's really cool. Freddie Hubbard, Open Sesame. This one is really good. Really, really good. McCoy Tyner's on this. Tina Brooks on tenor sax. Sam Jones on bass. Clifford Jarvis on drums. So fairly early Freddie Hubbard, I think, but this one, I got this with the Grant Green. Maybe this is his debut. I think these might have been the debut records, and I like this debut better than the Grant Green debut. And here's one I really, really like. This Sam Rivers Contours, which I think they put out in the Tone Poet series. I like this a lot more than I expected to. I didn't know really what to expect. This is 1965, and maybe I just like that period. Again, Freddie Hubbard's on here. Sam Rivers, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Joe Chambers. So, I mean, the band can't be beat, and it's right in that pocket of traditional and weird that I really like. So that's it for the jazz and classical. I'll try to come back another time to do the pop stuff.